Could you please tell FameTV watchers who you are and what you do?
My name's Louise Court and I'm the editor of Cosmopolitan magazine.
Thank you very much. I'm going to start off with personal life versus work life.
Okay.
I understand you're an avid Crystal Palace fan, so that's how you create the balance, and you also watch your sons play football. But if you had the choice of a kind of important Cosmo event or a huge Crystal Palace match, which one would you attend?
I'd have to do both. I don't know how I'd manage to do both, but I'd have to do both.
You'd find a way.
Yeah, I mean, I have missed key Palace games before because I've had a job to do, because that's the way of the world, isn't it? But if there's a way of managing to do both, then I would try to do that, but work has to come before that, sadly.
As a teenager, what magazines did you read?
What did I read? Magazines that don't exist anymore. There was a magazine called Fab 208, which was connected to a radio station, the Radio Luxembourg radio station, which was one of the first pirate radio stations, and Honey magazine, and Petticoat. They sound such dated names, but yeah, that's what was around, I'm afraid.
Oh, they sound cool. You've said journalism is a family trade, but did you ever have any other dreams?
No, I always wanted to be a journalist, and then because my father thought I'd be a good journalist and wanted me to be a journalist, of course it was the last career in the world that I wanted to do, because that's what you do as a teenager, isn't it? You fight against it. So then I decided I wanted to be a teacher, but then I went on a training course to be a journalist and just loved it, and so there was just no way I wanted to do anything else. So
what made you want to work for Cosmopolitan, and how did you get to where you are today? You've got the best job in the world.
It is the best job in the world. With lots of jobs, I mean, there's luck involved and there's working hard that's involved. So, you know, I'd learnt my trade working at local papers, on national newspapers, on other magazines, and I'd been an editorial director as well of 3 magazines. So I'd earned my stripes, and then it was being in the right place at the right time, and I was working for the company already that produced Cosmo, so they knew what I could do, and put my hat in the ring, and yay, they went for it.
Very lucky. As well as luck, if you had to give advice to any girls or boys who wanted to break into the world of journalism, because it's a very, very tough career choice, what advice would you give them?
You just got to keep going. You really do just have to keep going, because it's so competitive, and it's more competitive now than when I was trying to get into it. And on one hand, there are more opportunities because there's lots of things you can do your own blogs. There's lots of areas where you can self-start and show people your work. But breaking through into mainstream jobs is very difficult, and you just have to really want to do it, and you have to work hard, and you have to not piss people off along the way. You know, you have to, if you go in and do work experience, if you can get work experience, make yourself an asset there. But there are times where I've had to choose between 2 people for a job, and they've both been equally talented and brilliant and smart, and you ultimately will choose the person out of those 2 who you want to come into work and see every day. So if you're, you want to work with good guys, don't you? You want to work with people that you can, who are straightforward, who are honest, who are hardworking, who have got the same goals as you have. You don't want to work with someone who's a bit tricksy.
Is there anything in particular you would look for personally if you had a room full of people? What is the one main thing you would look for in a person to work with you?
A good smile. Because if you've got a good smile, especially if you're a journalist, you're going to be a great person for me to work with every day. But when you're going out representing the brand, people are going to open up to you if you're interviewing them. People are going to want to, if you're working with PRs, people are going to want to work with you. People don't want to work with people who, if you exude a confidence and a positivity about you, then it will help open doors for you. Obviously, you've got to be good at what you do. You can't just wing it. But if you can, and I know it's hard sometimes to stay positive when you've had lots of knockbacks, so you do think, oh God, am I ever going to get, but if you can just try to, then people will spot your talent.
Brilliant. I'll practice my smile then.
Bit cheesy.
In a previous interview, you have described Cosmo as unique with 60 editions worldwide. It's
64 now.
64 now. Okay, that was a previous interview. And you say that it understands women everywhere.
Yeah.
What do you think is on the mind of women this year or this month?
So we've got 100 million readers worldwide, which I think, if you measure it, it makes us the 12th or 13th largest country in the world, which is pretty significant. The whole Cosmo mantra and what's on our readers' minds is being the best you can be. So wherever you are in life, whatever you're doing, so whether it is in a work situation, whether it is choosing what you want to wear in the morning, whether it is choosing the right bloke, you want to be the best you can be. You want to be surrounded by people that make you feel good about yourself, and you also want to make the right choices for you and feel empowered. So it's your life and you choose what you want to do, but on your terms. So it's not somebody else telling you, oh God, you've got to be chairman of the board, or you got, if you want to go off and do a gap year, or if you, it's you being honest with yourself about your goals, and then, going out and trying to achieve those.
Thank you. Have you ever watched Devil Wears Prada?
I have.
Now, in this current interview now and in previous interviews, you seem so lovely, down to earth, funny.
Because I really am.
Just feeding it in.
Yeah.
But do you have a Devil Wears Prada side to you at all?
I'd love to. I think, everyone has the odd hissy fit, don't they? But I would try not to be. She's brilliant as an editor in Devil Wears Prada because she knows totally what she wants. Mm-hmm. And she is being the best she can be, but she's sort of trampling people underfoot. So I'd like to have the drive, but maybe not the method.
Bit of a balance.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think there will be another new woman age? Where do you think women can go from here?
Wherever they want to go. Tomorrow's International Women's Day, and it is about being the best you can be. So we've got a big campaign in Cosmo at the moment about equal pay, because women are still not being, even though legislation says we should be, we're not being paid the same as men. And women do just as well or better often at university, but when the best jobs come along, they still go to the men. And there's a pay discrepancy, I think it's something like 17%, 15%. Maths aren't my strong point, but basically men, if they do a job, are being paid to the end of the year, and women stop being paid in November. There's that sort of difference. And in the city, it's as big as something like 50%. So that's mad. Women can go wherever they want to be, but we need to be appreciated and rewarded for it all.
Yes, that's very true. Okay. Well, you said that it's International Women's Day, but it's also the 40th birthday of Cosmopolitan coming up.
Sure is.
What do we have to look forward to? What kind of plans have you got recently to celebrate it?
Well, there's a lot going on in our 40th issue, so that we've got lots of golden tickets that have been printed that are in Cosmo. So if you get one of those, then there's a chance of you winning a month at Cosmo, but it'd be more than a normal internship or work experience thing. You'd see lots more behind the scenes stuff and have lots more opportunities to work with us in Clinique. So that's quite a cool thing. What else have we got going on? There's the naked centerfolds that you wish you could see, but we couldn't quite get them. So you've got a naked Prince Harry and Prince William. You've got a naked David Beckham, but it's lookalikes done by Alison Jackson, the photographer who does those sort of spoof pictures. But they're very convincing. But that's all in a good cause, in aid of men checking their bits, because testicular cancer is the biggest rising illness for young men. So there's always a method in our madness.
Yes, exactly. It's not true that Cosmo is all about sex. It's actually
about
totally
isn't.
Important messages.
Absolutely. I'm glad you recognise that.
Yes, I do. Don't worry. Okay, I'm talking about men's health. In 1972, the first issue, I heard that there was an interview with Michael Parkinson talking about his vasectomy.
True.
He said it was the most beautiful gift you could give a woman. Now, is that still true?
I don't know, I find it hard to imagine that if we interviewed a male celebrity that they'd say that. But I suppose, you know, women do have lots of hassles with contraception and taking the responsibility for all that, and some women don't react well to the pill, so maybe if you're in a relationship that might be the most beautiful thing a man could do for you. I'm sure I can think of something more exciting I prefer, like a trip to Paris, but whatever rocks your boat, really.
Okay, what's the most inspiring quote or song you've ever heard? What's stuck with you?
Oh God, that's really hard. I'll be cheesy. So Crystal Palace, our song is Feeling Glad All Over, so
you're going to have to sing it.
I can't possibly sing it, I'm sorry.
No?
I'll mime. I'll do anything else ridiculous, but I'll sing it so nobody will recognise it, because I can't sing it.
Okay, I'll listen out for it.
Yeah.
Okay, there are some questions from readers of Cosmopolitan. We have got, where do you shop? That is the most popular question.
Really? Oh gosh. Everywhere, really. Yeah. Everywhere.
Where did you get your current outfit from?
My dress is from Jaeger, as is this, and my boots are from Super Trash.
And what products do you use?
I love a bit of face cream. I love a bit of moisturiser. I'm a sucker for that. Yeah, I like makeup. I mean, one of the things where you get spoilt working on a magazine like this is you get lots of product that comes in. So it is, oh, that looks great, I'll try that. So I'm a bit of a makeup slapper, really, literally, like that, but also I'll try everything, so.
One of the most popular questions also was, what's been your favourite issue or most memorable article done?
The 40th birthday issue was great fun to make, because we wanted to include lots of key elements in it, and we launched our campaign, I Use the F Word, Do You? And it's all about feminism and reclaiming the word feminism, because lots of women sort of don't like the word, and they think it doesn't apply to them, and you go, okay, well, do you think you're equal to a man? Yeah, well, you're a feminist then. And it's as simple as that. And so it's just campaigning for that equality, but in a fun way. So we've got lots of celebrities to take part, and we're doing loads of lectures and debates and things. There's a big International Women of the World festival at the South Bank this weekend, so we're doing lots of stuff with that. So.
Okay, yeah, I did actually hear about the feminism campaign. I might actually have to get myself a t-shirt.
Yeah.
But I admit I've always been scared of the word feminism and being a feminist, so what advice could you give me? What would kick me into becoming a true
I think
feminist?
it's just as simple as that. Do you believe that you should be treated in exactly the same way as a man? And in lots of areas women aren't, you know. I'm not trying to think of examples we gave in the magazine. You know, you don't want to go into a meeting and because it's full of loads of guys, people assume you're the one that's making the tea, which still happens in some businesses. You don't want people, because you've got a short skirt on, to assume that anything about you. It's your prerogative to wear a short skirt, and that's fine, it's nobody's business but your own. And you want to be able to be paid equally for doing the same job, to have the same job opportunities. There's still not enough women represented in boardrooms. If you look at the FTSE 100 companies, lots of them don't have women on at all. Well, that's mad. And we know it makes business sense, because actually the companies that have a more diverse boardroom actually do far better in business terms, so it's a bit of a no-brainer.
Also, the huge sex issue between how many people you've slept with, also.
Yeah,
big difference between how men are treated compared to women.
Absolutely, and people make some people make judgments, and that's your sex life is your business. It's nobody else's business. But you've got to be making those decisions based on what makes you happy, not what you think might make you happy or what everybody else is doing. And there's a lot of pressure on young women that's come through the easy availability of porn online and things, and it puts a lot of pressure. I think it puts a lot of pressure on guys as well, but it puts a lot of pressure on women. Everyone going, oh God, well everybody's doing that. What, you know? And if you want to do it, great, you know, as long as you're having safe sex, brilliant. But if you don't want to do it, you shouldn't have to feel that there's pressure on you.
Okay. I'm going to go back to the previous questions about how to work for you, because obviously it's an incredibly inspiring magazine for women who really do want to be independent and strong. If I'll give you an example, if somebody gave you a CV right now on the table, what would you look for? What would shine out to you?
I would look for really basic things, that it's spelt properly. I can't even tell you the amount of letters I get from people who, I know it's tough, I know people trying to break into the industry, so they will send CVs out to loads of magazines and loads of magazines, but there's no point writing, "Dear Louise, I'd really like to work for Company magazine," which happens, and no Vic down there gets it. And when I speak to other magazine editors, it's like, yeah, that's straight in the bin. Because, well, A, it's rude, but also being a journalist is about accuracy. So if you can't even, and checking your facts, if you can't get that right, why would I trust you to go and do a story and get the facts of the story right, or the woman's job description right, or her name, or her age? So please make sure it's spelt properly, the grammar's right, don't send it in text speak or whatever. You know, you're applying for a job in something to do with words, and so you've got to think about it. And even if you're applying to be in one of the more visual departments, you've still got to have an appreciation of how things are structured and presented.
Okay, thank you very much for taking your time to speak to Fame.
It's a pleasure.
Have you seen our new magazine, by the way?
I have, think it's great, so
It's great.
keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.